Previously on Demand Wars.
Entering the demand throne room. One will not survive.
Not Mikhail, the marketing mind behind Safety Labs.
This is Demand Wars.
We rise up from the dust and clean my throat. We rise up from the dust and clean my throat.
Round one. Fight!
What's going on, people? This is Balaji, and welcome to another edition of Demand Wars. Now, he's the CMO turned CEO of GTM Partners, the go-to-market research and advisory firm. His name is synonymous with revolution. He's the son and grandson of professors, one-time Wall Street Journal best-selling author, two-time generator of $0 to $1 million in 9 months, three-time CMO and co-founder. His goal, nothing big, just positively impact 1 billion lives. Salesforce, Pardot, Terminus, now GTM. If you ever flip that funnel, Danyavad. If you ever concluded that ABM was B2B, Danyavad. If you ever thought GTM should be simpler, Danyavad, representing Nagpur, India, representing his family. Kripya Meri Madad Keri Swagat. Hey, I'm doing my best to speak Hindu. Please help me welcome the joyful revolutionary Sangram. Vajre. What's up, man?
Man, that was great. I don't think I've ever heard an introduction like that. You must have worked on that for a while, dude. I really appreciate that. The first thing I would do is find what is the biggest problem out there in that space. That's what I would spend majority of my time figuring out. What is the problem? Maybe the problem is maybe obvious that, people don't have access to water and therefore we may be able to create something that leads us to get people around a water cooler conversation that brings people together. My number one thing I would do is I will figure out, is there a real problem and is there enough market? In our research, we call that finding out problem market fit. You're not talking about the product at all at this point. You're just trying to figure out, is my problem big enough? And if it is, then is the market big enough? Meaning, are there enough people looking for that problem? If those two things exist, then I will start creating content and conversations around that and bring people together to see what solutions do they have. Assuming that I will be able to do that, then I will look for the next stage, which is like, all right, what product do I need to go and market to this problem? How can we solve that particular problem? That's what we will call, in the normal sense, the product market fit stage. And then, assuming we were able to sell that one product through all the things, and all of this, by the way, does not cost money. This is the part that people forget. The 9 Flip My Funnel events that I did that you mentioned in the beginning, where I had 1,000+ people come in, our marketing budget was $0. We spent $0 on it because it was all sponsored by from day one. We didn't have any money to begin with as a company. When we're doing this go-to-market roadshow, the cost to us is $0. It is run by and done by, all the sponsorships, we are bringing great content. So we have found a problem and bringing all these sponsors and partners to pay for it, and we are providing thought leadership and frameworks for people to solve the problem. So once you understand the problem, the power of problem is that $1,000 is too generous. You don't need $1,000 really. You want to make $10,000 from all these people who I would go. So I might walk away with, $10,000 from them.
Gosh.
So do that as opposed to worrying about how much do I have. I think it's a very myopic way of a marketer. We believe marketers are the most strategic people in the organization. I truly believe that, because you, as a marketer, if you're listening to this, you have this opportunity to ask real tough business questions. There are two kinds of marketers that I know. One who are literally marketing the business. That's all they do. They know the tactics to do. They know the CRM to use. They know the marketing automation. They know the ads, as you mentioned. So they're marketing the business. And then there's other kind of marketer that I will highly recommend you to become, is that you understand the business of marketing. Very different. When you understand the business of marketing, you understand the economics of marketing. You understand that, well, when I do this, if I put my efforts here, not because I need to, somebody told me something to, I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to figure out, well, how does that help drive outcomes? And what outcome are we looking for? And how does that translate into revenue? If you don't know that, then that's what happens a lot of times when people say, well, I didn't see when the layoffs came. I didn't know when my boss didn't think I thought I was working really hard. The reason all that stuff happens is because you're not doing the business of marketing. It's a hard truth. You're working hard, but you're working on the marketing tactics, which is fine to a certain extent, but you got to learn if you want to get to the next level in your organization or do just a better job at your business that you're supporting. You got to learn the business of marketing, and that's a higher calling and a higher order.
Round 2. Fight!
What's going on, B2B marketers? This is Balaji, and welcome to another episode of Demand Wars. Growing up, he wanted to be pro soccer player, physical therapist, and a psychologist. He had to settle for VP of Demand Gen at Refined Labs. Maybe he's not doing too badly. He lives in Jupiter. True story. His right hip is half an inch higher than the left. True story. It's all made him a better marketer. He believes in thank you cards, giving gifts for big life events, and developing real relationships with customers. We're going to find out exactly how we should be scaling our demand creation in 2023. Please help me welcome to Demand Wars, Mr. Sam Kuehnle. What up, Sam?
This is awesome. Can I just steal this recording for every meeting that I come to in the future?
You may.
I'm excited. This is going to be fun. First thing I'm thinking is define your point of view, whether that's making an enemy with the current way, what's broken, what's not working well. The mistake that many B2B companies make is that they are all variants of one another, saying the same thing, delivering the same value props. If you can define your point of view, make it maybe something a little bit edgy, something that really hits home as a hard truth, that's going to make you stand out. That narrative is going to inform content. $700 a month out of the 1,000. So this is a heavy part of the budget. And what that's going to do is it's going to get you tools like Descript, Zoom, freelancers for editing and quick production on some of those videos. But what I'm thinking we want to do there is create content that our community generally cares about and doing it in a way that's actually community oriented. What we saw, early 2000s, mid 2010s was webinars that were very one-way street, right? It's like you've got a presenter and someone else moderating it, and then you're just talking at them. We're seeing more that are turning into a community where it's a two-way, it's a true Zoom meeting in the sense where it's like people can ask questions, people can talk that aren't just the presenter. So having that community makes you more engaged with who's presenting. You feel more bought into it because you can also share your thoughts, your opinions. So I would go and create a community early on in that sense. I'm not saying Slack community. I mean, that's great, but a true community could be, you share LinkedIn posts and then people comment on it, things like that. But that's the start of it. Going to turn all those recordings into podcast episodes, start to chop that up into micro videos, turn into blog posts, infographics, and then how do we get onto other podcasts that are in similar veins to what we do can get in front of their audience, start sharing with their networks, get more involved that way. When I say get it out in front of people, I'm not saying that we need to get into spending money on ads. That's an amplifier that comes later on. Things that I'm thinking about: one, already organic reach, growing your network that way, developing quality content. The other one that I've been thinking about a lot lately is an email newsletter that's opt-in based. If you're on LinkedIn, you post your video, that's great, it gets out there, but it's only going to serve once. It's not going to show up in their feed again, so if they don't see it or they scroll by it, it's gone. There are certain emails that I look forward to receiving every day or every week or every month. I opted into them. I know exactly what I'm going to get. And the thing about them is that they deliver value to me. They're not about the sender themselves. So creating something that's like a content roundup that people choose to opt into because they learn from it, it helps them in their jobs, it helps them solve problems that they're trying to overcome. That's something that I think that is an untapped resource, because right now, every email you get, 9 out of 10 are crap, more or less. So how do you flip that narrative? It's a low bar to really stand out. And then another thing I'd think about is doing something like a Notion board, something small, something easy, but I would create repository for all this content as well, where people can come and self-serve to solve those different problems. So you could group it by topic, you could group it by the job role, you could group it by the expertise of the individual, but all that content you've been making, videos, posts, blogs, put that in there. So then people can do like the choose your own adventure, consume it as quickly or slowly as they want. It's always there. As I say, it gets away from that, like, if we can only serve it once, value add for your market. And that's why I think people will come to it more instead of just like a demo form where it's like they're only coming when they're ready to buy. This is something that's going to benefit them for a long way to come.
Round 3. Fight!
What's going on, people? This is Balaji, and welcome to another episode of Demand Wars. Now, he's the founder of Antidote, the B2B audience development agency. He's worked with brands like Career Karma, Gorgeous, Loot. He's built amazing marketing campaigns for clients like Chick-fil-A, Keller Williams, Teach for America. Please help me welcome, from Chi-Town, Morehouse graduate, Darien Payton. What up, Darien?
What's up, Vajre? That was a great intro. I like that.
Hey, man. Your reputation precedes you, man. I'm just trying to let the people know what it is. It's a pleasure to have you on.
For my personal brand, the answer is easy. Create a vlog. Go to YouTube, phone or laptop, maybe even to face, and just like, since we already have Wi-Fi, we've got a laptop, we've got what we need to create and upload content to the internet. I would be focused on creating a vlog showing my life of living on this deserted island. How am I getting food? How am I getting water? What is the process like? And I might be like taking some of that content, trying to get it to TikTok. And it's like very, very internet boyish, but I think it would be super interesting to figure out, like, what is somebody doing? How can you recreate Naked and Afraid, except without all of the TV cameras, right? And maybe without the naked part. So that's probably what I would do if it were my own brand. And I'd find ways to talk about how I'm building my brand or building whatever my company is or whatever my service is or software product from this island. So here's my life of building this company on this island. And here's what it's like when I'm not building a company. I think that'd be super interesting to get people to like me. I probably wouldn't even need the $1,000 budget to do that, to be quite frank. For the company, now, if I'm running for a client, I'm trying to run their brand and I'm deserted and I've only got a $1,000 budget, would go to distribution. So focus on creating content around narrative, focus on creating content around what the product solves, the RPO, on social platforms. Ones that matter most for B2B companies are probably Twitter and LinkedIn. If you can pull it off, there is a lot of white space on YouTube. If you can pull it off. Shows like Demand Wars, where it's a lot less stuffy, I think really work for YouTube. Most B2B brands can't pull it off for a few different reasons, but if you can, YouTube also works. But let's just say we're doing Twitter and LinkedIn. I'd be figuring out ways to create content around what we're doing, figuring out ways to talk with that client, like show me your inside process. Can we get on a Zoom call? Can we record some of the meetings that you're having internally? And then the $1,000 would go all to distribution, meaning paid media. The $1,000 would go to, let's run some LinkedIn ads against the content that's performing best, the organic content. So organic becomes our testing channel. Paid media becomes our distribution channel. And this is how we generate the demand. So we figure out what's working. Obviously, we already understand the platforms. We understand like what nuances make certain pieces of content work. We take the best performing, we put it in front of our audience on LinkedIn ads and Twitter ads, and that's how we start to build this community. I think there are misconceptions about what is actually interesting. A lot of B2B companies think that their products are inherently or their services are inherently uninteresting. What I've found is that most people discount how interesting running a company can be. Get out of your head about what you think is interesting and not interesting. There are a lot of people who have a ton of interest in just seeing how the sausage is made. And there is a lot of value in that, and building community, building trust, and building reputation. The second thing is, if you're past that point, I think a lot of people also think that your secrets are going to be stolen. And there is no real secret at this point. If you think that you are protecting some secret sauce, what you're probably doing is locking your audience and locking even your customers out, because you don't want to share information. And you're like, oh no, someone's going to tell or steal our stuff. It generally isn't the case. I found that people are stealing something from you. If they are, it's probably not that much of a secret sauce.
Round 4. Fight!
What's going on, people? This is Balaji, and welcome to another edition of Demand Wars. She's an award-winning, revenue-focused B2B marketer. She lives at that Venn diagram overlap of data, tech, and marketing. She's a CMO, founder, advisor, speaker, board member. She's advising at companies like Hockey Stack, Goldcast, and in her spare time, she's hosting Marketer Stalking Marketing. She is the pretty mediocre Call of Duty player, founder and CMO of Some Growth Agency. Please help me welcome Jess.
I'm going to find someone to do day scraping for me for a low cost because I got low budget. So I'm going to go probably on Upwork, and I'm going to find someone to go near in market. You know, in market would be great too, but at least near in market. I'm going to find them. I'm going to make a list, and then I'm going to hit LinkedIn. And my BDR that I'm giving gift cards to, I'm going to try and get them to do just cold outbounding to it. And I'm going to put an incentive out there because I know I've narrowed my audience down to someone who's near in market. I'm going to have some incentive, find those people just to get them into a conversation. And I'm going to make sure that I have a really, really good email nurture together. Because I know as a marketer, if I can get someone to talk to me, I can sell them on talking to my sales rep. So all I need to do is get them into that conversation. And I think one of the quickest ways is to bribe them with something, with a little gift card, and give them a good experience and educate them along the way. So they come in, they say, all right, I don't really want to talk to you, but I see you're going to donate $10 to Girls Who Code. That's an organization close to my heart. So I'm going to respond, and I'm going to go watch your 5-minute YouTube video on it or whatever it is. And then when they get in there, hit them with content, show them you're a valuable partner, you know their pain points, and you're going to help them along the way, and then get them over to your seller. Make sure your seller is just as incentivized to push them through the process. In market, like any of us can go find in market. What I think about is, what's that next ring out? Find those things that are kind of ancillary to it and who's actively engaging with that. And then you go meet them there. So if you're a monitoring platform and you're looking at people who are just trying to figure out, how do I know if my system's down, right? Which is pretty close to being in market, actually. So let's go a step further. How do I create an incident response team, right? So go find that, make content for them, and help them solve that problem.
Yeah. It
all comes down to alignment. Every problem you ever have in your entire life comes down to alignment. So if you're a marketer, and a very, very common scenario is we're hearing a lot of people talk about doing more with less, budgets getting cut. Marketers always are being pressured to have a quick return. My recommendation is take that time, that space you need, and break it down into chunks and help people understand, what does good look like. We're going to target people who are potentially in market in the next 60 to 90 days. We're going to start nurturing them now. What does good look like? We're seeing more engagement coming in when we get to what good, because what do they think good looks like? What does a seller think good looks like?
Entering the demand from room. One will not survive.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you